Hello, hello. Let's see here. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is the first time I've been late, I think, in a good little while. But we're here. Alright, cool. Well, I guess we can start off with Dirty Octopus, who's got this mega hard pick. This is insane. This is such a fire picture. I'm sure the track is going to be just as fire, so let's just take a listen. That's actually so nasty. What? Oh, you're speeding up. Okay. I like the overall, like, I guess you could say, like, a color palette. I like the things that we're working with. I don't know that that everything's quite working together yet, but I see the vision of it. Overall, it just feels like everything's kind of, like, disconnected. Like, it's like waiting for, like, one more layer. Definitely in the beginning, it feels like this wants to be 4 on the floor. And then when we get to the 4 on the floor, it kind of comes together a little bit more. It has a bit of this issue that some of your like very like melody focused tracks have, which is that the melody gets very complex and a bit random. I would say for this as well, it's just missing like a core phrase. We never quite repeat any of them enough that it feels like the main melody. And the melodies definitely feel like they work for a 4 on the floor beat. So it might be something where you just need a little bit more, something a bit more percussive melody wise in here. I say more percussive, it might just mean changing up the melody rhythm a bit, because it's very sort of but it doesn't feel like that's working quite with the drums. At least for me, it just feels a bit, the whole thing feels a bit off. Like, you can understand and you can feel it a bit, but it doesn't hit, you know. You're doing a lot of thinking and being like, oh, well, this is a kind of a cool element, and not just flowing with it. So yeah, those are kind of my main thoughts. I don't know that I have anything else that I really think about. I love this part here. You get this sort of like glue then between like or this like sort of back and forth between the melody and everything else, which is just really satisfying. It's a fading shremery. Okay. We've got Afkara LP's Saddest Song. Glad to see that we're back in business here. Alright, let's take a listen. It's sort of unironically one of the best Afghan LP tracks. What the hell? The little project. I actually think this is like, it's such a clean project. I mean, honestly, like this track is super bouncy. It's so interesting because this feels like one of those things where you just like, you kind of do something, you just do it and don't overthink it, and it ends up being actually quite nice. The melody's clean, easy to follow. The interplay between like all of these different elements works super nicely. I mean, it's very almost like rehearsed in terms of like, it's a very familiar future bouncy sound, but it's well done. I think the vocal could have more like delay and interesting effects if it's gonna be this weird sort of almost mumbly, subdued type of thing. Maybe we're missing one extra percussion element, like a hat, like a tss, 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 tss. But there's something sweet about the way that this is sort of quite chill as well. Yeah, I just think that overall this vocal could like be more produced, be a bit wider, and it would complement everything going on with the strings as well. But I mean, overall, it's nice. I think if you wanted to take this from being a little project to being a big project, you just need to do then the rest of the production, and like, I think the key would just be finding original things to do in your second half, without messing up this. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Not too complicated overall. Yo, can I send 2 musics? Of course you can. You're always allowed to send 2 musics. Right, so okay, let's get you guys in here. Deepness. Ooh, I'm a big fan of whatever style this is. That's super cool. What the hell is going on? Okay, we have also I think a music video, I'm assuming, for this Absolute Cinema. I'm very curious to see what Windsor Boy's been cooking up. So let's full screen this. Let's go. Epilepsy warning. Great. So I'm gonna die, guys. I'm gonna die of death disease. Music. We don't need that. Whoa. This is a really interestingly done music video. I'm pretty sure we've heard this one. Like Geometry Dash without the Geometry Dash? Wow. That actually makes a lot of sense. Oh, this looks like quite a long outro. Okay, very interesting. Since this is already released, I'm not gonna go as crazy with my um my feedback, or I'm gonna focus just on like things that I think are important for next time, because I know that this is gonna be generally like the kind of style that you've been, based on what you've done before, and I assume you'll keep doing things that are in this style. For me, my big piece of feedback is how the vocal was produced around. So I do think it creates certain problems when the vocal is as soft as it is, like it is here. Yeah, I don't want to say anything about too much about the vocal itself because it's not the person I'm giving feedback to. But I think the fact that the vocal is so soft means there are some things that you have to account for inside of the production, which I feel like here's just a little bit weak. It's mostly just like making more space, especially here. The vocal is not really coming through, like it's not punching through. So one of the things that is definitely helpful when you have soft vocals like this, don't go too crazy, but definitely pump up the air a bit, because you tend to get, with these softer types of voices, like, when you have this soft tone, you get a lot of very nice air. So roll with it, use the air that you do have, emphasize it in your processing. And then also make sure that you kind of protect wherever the fundamental of her vocal is, and make sure that it's like actually coming through. Because there's just parts of this where you really feel like you lose her vocal. And it kind of helps that you can see the words on screen actually, because your brain is going to pay more attention to the vocal. But if we were to play this without looking at the words, it would be quite hard to pick up what she's saying. Like there's just a lot of that like clarity lost on her vocal because it's not quite coming through enough. So yeah, these are just like things that like, I think next time you work with the soft vocal, just like think about like how it's going to translate. I think it's easy, especially with these types of vocals, to fall into the sense of like, I know what it sounds like naked, without the song. And it sort of changes the way you perceive it when it's all completed. You do need to take a step back and be like, okay, but for somebody listening for the first time, are they really going to be able to pick up this vocal? Is it, like coming through and cutting through the mix enough? This is as much heat as this summer. By the way, on my voice, should I actually stick with the Yuya AI voice? You don't have to. It was more so like, I don't know what choices you might make in the future. I only know what I'm listening to right now. And so I'm going to give you feedback on what you sent me. And yeah, in that case, it's like, I think it's fine if you want to keep doing, like it's like a cool little SoundCloud thing. If you wanted to like produce it and make it more serious, right? Whatever more serious means. Feedback 2 is more positive than expected. It was a good track. I honestly think it's like a really solid track from you. Now, I still think it's like, has some of the limitations that a Future Bounce track has, but I lost the project of the Yuya version. No more flex orchestral. Ah, shame. The strings were nice too on that. Yeah, Windjar, I think that's my thoughts. The video's cool as well, by the way. Nice job with the video. Really, really quality. Next up, we got Arexo and Bondu IDV2. id, advitu. It's a diss track. I'm trying to listen if the melody has changed at all. I think it has. That turnaround sounds faster than it did before. That feels better than it did before, I think. Okay. Okay, this definitely feels more neat and like tidy than the last time I heard this. Is great. Really big improvement, especially here. Like, it's interesting because like I didn't expect you to keep the sort of UK dubsteppy vibes, but I actually think they worked really well here on the 4 on the floor. Like it sounds nice. Like that's so nice here. I think this lead here, it feels a bit naked. It feels like a very dry, isolated lead. So I think it needs, it just feels a bit tacky right now as it is. With more production around it, it might sound less sort of tacky. Or with just like some extra, you know, some extra reverb, especially like not even just reverb, but like release specifically. It has like this da 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 da, where it's like it's very abrupt when the note ends, and I think a bit of extra release will help it feel more emotional and more connected. Da 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 versus da 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 da. It just depends. If you wanted to make that breakdown choppier, you should leave it as it is. But I think it actually just, the lead needs a bit more release. It needs maybe something else going on to complement it too. Even if that's just a bit more ambience, like some more ambient beds, that might help quite a lot. I think I appreciate that you did the switch up I suggested of taking the 4 on the floor stuff to the beginning and then doing the trap stuff. It feels a little less telegraphed, like I was expecting it to continue to be 4 on the floor, but it still works. this melody also works. I'm surprised you didn't use this melody here. I feel like if you use this melody, or at least a variation of this melody, like maybe a slightly more complex version of it here, it would make sense. Because now you have like two melodies that are quite close to each other in the song, but aren't really related anyway. We're not going from one and like evolving into the other. They're kind of just two separate things that exist next to each other. And it's a missed opportunity to invest your listener in the melody and make that drop feel bigger and more connected. Because you then need to spend the first 2 times you go around on it just getting people familiar with the melody, and then at that point the song is basically over. So overall though, big improvement. I like where this is headed. Fix my go at halftime. It was just like the floor on the floor drum pattern and switched up all the drop instead. Yeah, I mean, it seems like this was a bit like part of the thing, because my thought was also just to keep it 4 on the floor, if I remember correctly. Some kind of signal that switching to halftime would be good. Need boosted chords that are boosted boostedly. I'm not sure there's much more I have really to say on this. It's solid. It's solid, big improvement. I'm not entirely sold on this bit here. But if you feel you want to keep it because it's interesting to you, that's fine, right? You're gonna make more tracks. That's just part of it. Alright, we got Deepness by ASP. We're getting deep in it. Are you ready, everybody? Oh, there's 2 of them. Oh my god. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, that's for after. Okay. We are going deep. Let us take it. Ooh. Hey yo. Hey yo. Whoa, that is so loud. Good lord. Oh my god. What the fuck? Holy shit, there's so many sounds. Okay, sound design is just top notch. That is insane. It's this punk, and then you're like, I don't know if this makes sense, but this is the same feeling of like when you realize you pissed off your parents, and they just turn around and look angrily at you, and you're like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh scheiße. I will say it is a wee bit random. It does have so many especially once you get here, like I feel like it evolves almost a little too quickly considering how intense it is too. But I do like everything you have going on here. You may just want to spread it out over a little bit more track time. I was gonna say I'm not sure I like the intro, but I think it's fine. Just not sure how I feel about the just white noise playing. I made this yesterday in about 2 hours. Sorry about the mix. Well, the mix is fine. Good analogy. Glad y'all like it. I mean, that is an insane sound. It's this little... There's this dunk that's just like, fuck. I'm not sure how I feel about this gloopy, like, virtual variety type sound. This glunk glunk. It feels like it feels like it should be used as an accent in this context, but it's used a couple too many times. But it's also not quite like a leading element, so it feels a bit confusing to me, because I'm like, okay, well, am I supposed to be paying attention to the thing, or the bass, or the something else, and then there's new patterns happening at the same time, so it's just... My favorite track of 2049. I'm still very much working on the intro. Fair enough. Yeah, I think with a bit more production, you'll nail this. Like, I'm not really worried. It's a really cool idea. I think, yeah, protect the sound design of this, and leave it as like raw as it is, on a sound design level, because it's nasty, very, very nasty. Misa like it. Whoa. Hold on a minute. Oh, no. Okay. We'll do this then, and then the Walkus one, and then Aspi. Alright. Let's go.
Are we...
This is very weird.
Are we...
I really like this intro though. Interestingly, I think this snare could use a little bit more like parallel distortion, because everything else is so dirty and the drum is actually fairly clean. So I think just giving it some extra, like, you don't want to destroy the original signal, but just giving it some parallel, like, crunch could be quite nice.
Are we...
Also, melody a bit random. Like the other track, but I like the vision of this. This is also one where I'm really a big fan of, like, it's such a weird, interesting color palette, like an interesting set of sounds you have. I just think it needs a bit more melodic direction. Because this kind of just feels like a big spray of notes. I think if you just eliminate a couple of them and sort of, quote unquote, pick your battle, and pick what track you want to go down with this, you'll have something really, really interesting. I mean, if you want it to be in that jazz direction, this is a melody? This is so strange but cool. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. It's just very fascinating, but I'm interested. Alright, Walkus, play! Looks like I might be releasing an album this year too. Let's go! Walkus album coming out. Shit is getting real. Is that FL Studio in light mode on a laptop? In the night? In the night is crazy. But, hey, we do what we gotta do. Let's take a listen. Okay. Okay. God damn. Love that fill stuff. Okay, this is sick. It feels so finished, you know? This is like so complete. This is insane. I really don't have much. Like, this is kind of just like a mega track. I think the bass here feels, compared to all the other elements, a bit two-dimensional. So I think giving it some extra color or crunchiness in the distortion, or adding an extra layer, like in my head I'm thinking like you could add a normal, like an acoustic bass onto it, or like a double bass or a cello. Doesn't have to be incredibly loud, but just one extra nice distorted acoustic element could really add a whole lot to this. It could also be something synthetic, but considering how much of everything else is already quite digital feeling, that extra contrast of adding something in that's acoustic and then distorted quite playfully, I think always adds a lot to a track. The other thing is these fill drums here. These like drums, they could just be panned. So it's kind of free because you don't do anything to your stereo image. If somebody's listening in stereo, they'll have a little bit of extra, stuff to listen to, and it will be a bit easier to pick them out if you are listening on headphones or on speakers. They'll just shine a little bit more without you having to make them necessarily louder, which is always quite useful. My video is experiencing buffering. Bitrate drop, internet outro, internet build. Kyocon internet breaking. But it's not receiving enough. That's such a shame. Wi-Fi drop fake out. Well, shame. Stream status is poor. Yeah, we've been having some issues with internet. What? Why it is break? Oh, hello? Okay, I guess I'm back. We'll see. No data, stream healthy. Insane. Okay. I think that this most of my comments on this walkus. This is fantastic. Very, very fantastical. Alright. Next up, from Asp, Paralyzed. Let's take a listen. This looks to be a whole track.
What's with all the separation? I'll go any place you tell me to go. I can't sit around here waiting. You tell me I'm not okay, but I know.
Okay. What? Whoa! Whoa, oh, I love that. This is so unfair. This is so cool. This is so cool. Good luck, Windsor. I'm calling the audio police. This is the realest shit I've ever heard. I'm so mad. What is this? Like, this is insane. It's like so nicely controlled as well. Oh, what do I even say about that? I just love how creative it is. I would say in here, in this drop, there are a couple of the first one. It's this one here. There's a couple of notes that feel like they don't quite belong in this key. And I think in other tracks you could kind of get away with it, because it'd be like, oh, it's like interesting and harmonic. It's just when you have a vocal that sounds like this, you tend to, as a listener, then get very locked into that kind of harmony, like very pop type of harmony, which you do such a great job with in I feel like every other dimension of the song. It's just like some of these basses, it just feels like almost like they exported wrong. It's like, was that supposed to be like that? I don't know. Let me see what you're saying. I am versatile. I was going for like a tear out switch up. I kind of like it staying. Have you ever considered shifting careers to unemployed? Of course, coming out with the bangers. I like how melodic it is, to be honest. I think you could go tear out with it, but it sounds like the type of thing that would be really nice to leave this version very as melodic as it is, and then do a VIP that's just really crazy tear out stuff. Oh, this drop is so cool. Yeah, even this stuff, like there's an aspect to it that I feel like sounds, I don't know how else to say this, but very SoundCloud. But I love that sound. I'm a big fan of this sound. It's like not quite, this like polished, beautiful label sound, but maybe I'm wrong, right? I don't know when or where you have plans to release this, but I will be waiting because I will want to listen to it. That would be really cool. Yeah, I'll try that. Fair enough. I can't wait to like have the song. This is so cool. There's so many cool things about it. I know Leo checks, yes. What's up, Hans? That's true. If anything, like the weakest sounds of this is like maybe the chord stacks, but just be careful. Like you don't want to mess them up, obviously, because it can be really fragile. Or at least in my experience, they can be quite fragile, and they kind of do their job. Hello here, woohoo! Thank you for having me. One's originating from ponds, regular river streams. Afkara has been away for too long. Alright, well, it sounds like we're going to finish off with the Hans Clare track, which is fantastic. Ooh, the chorus is in for this. Oh, hell yeah. Alright. Yeah, I think this is the last one that I have on my list. Alright, great. And then after that, I'm going to go eat dinner. I kind of have a hard out at 7, so this works. Rest in peace. Chorus V1. Let's go.
Nothing went according to plan. We killed the time, kicking buckets and cans. Maybe we could try to live forever, but that's out of our hands. Take a look at all of our friends, at their broken hearts and missing heads. None of us could ever find the home, so we'll hunt one when we're dead. Hey you, don't you cry. It never had to be goodbye. People always say till death do we part, but we don't have that in mind. Hey you, look around. Yeah, we're 6 feet under the ground. Tell me what's the point of resting in peace when we could burn this city down?
Interesting. Okay, I have a question, and it's more so like it feels a little bit unclear with the way the vocal is processed, whether this is meant. It's somewhere between like this ensemble style vocal where you record a bunch of versions of yourself, and it ends up being this like very chorusy type of vibe. I don't know why, but the first thing that comes to mind is like a lot of Billie Eilish tracks are produced like this, where it's just like you have these choruses that are super layered with lots of different vocal takes. Or is it meant to be like a solo vocal straight down the middle with some accompaniment? Because this feels like sort of both, but neither.
It never had to be goodbye.
Also, the vocal feels a bit weird EQ-wise. It sounds like it was recorded in a space with a lot of like echo, like a lot of early reflections in the room. Or like if somebody put the mic here and started singing from over there, like on the other side of the room, and then used that take. It's not super extreme, but it feels a bit funky on a mixed level. Bro, I don't know how I do choruses. I make house music. Fair enough. I just think like you might want to lift a little bit of whatever processing you have on the vocal and let it be a bit more dry, I guess. It's like a bit more straight down the middle. To be fair, it is quite in the middle, so I'm saying things that maybe aren't fair, but
Goodbye. People always say till death do we part, but we don't have that in mind. Hey, you look around. Yeah, we're 6 feet under the ground.
I do think your harmonies should be louder, because it sounds like there are harmonies in there. And harmonies don't have to necessarily, they could be like doubles, is what I mean. But I think your doubles could be louder here to give a little bit more emphasis as well on what's without doubles. It's mostly just like a contrast thing. So you really feel the doubles, and then when there are no doubles, you obviously don't have them, and you're like, okay, cool, no doubles. I like it. I think the melody's good, the vibe is good. Yeah, I'm not quite sold yet on like this mix per se, but it's not like if I heard this, I wouldn't be like, oh, because it's just a little bit in between a couple of different things to me, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I like everything else.
Kill the time kicking buckets and cans. Maybe we can try to live forever, but that's out of our hands.
So sick. Alright, actually we are going to finish on the shrimp hole melody. Marine biologists confirm shrimp cannot understand the concept of Wi-Fi. Amazing. My shrimp can. Alright. Let's take a listen to finish out the day. A little bit of bonk. Yeah, I've been tweaking on it for a solid day. I want to continue. I wish you the best of luck. I'm sure you'll do great. Alright, gang, here we go. I think this is cool. I love this little extra harmony in here. This da-da-da. Yeah, big fan of when you manage to get like a really interesting like lead sound and then take these like almost like future bouncy type of leads and then use them to harmonize with whatever else is going on. I feel like you often get such cool results out of it. And really melodic feeling results. Cool idea. Please explain why it sounds bad. It's an init saw, by the way. Yeah, fair enough. Dirty palm lead is the first thing that comes to mind. Dirty palm. Why does it sound bad? I think it's your bass, which just sounds really rumbly and I don't know what it's doing. The thing is, it sounds like the bass also has like this really interesting like white noise top end. So it's just like a bunch of really rumbly stuff with no mid, like no really constructive mid bass in it, and then like this at the top, and then the drums are also a bit. They just don't make sense for this BPM, you know. You're kind of missing that big smack that will really fill up that downbeat from the snare, whereas you kind of have this like very dry clap, which works for bouncy stuff, but not so much for this where you have a lot of room. think the snare could be way more impactful. Like, you can pinpoint where it lies on the bad scale, but I have no clue why. I cut the mid, actually, because the melody was not audible. Yeah, fair. That's fair. It just sounds like, as well, this lead is a bit difficult to work with. To be fair, it's a bunch of my future bonk samples later, because then nothing else would make sense. Yeah. You're trying to make something with the ingredients that you have, and therefore, like, you're gonna get varying results. I do think there are ways to make it work, but it involves really transforming the things that you have substantially to suit this style more. And honestly, I think you did a pretty decent job. Again, considering this is all future bounce samples, like, it has a real character to it. It's like me in the kitchen, just throwing it, you're just like, this is what I got, man. Oh, speaking of the kitchen, I need to go make my way over there and eat some food because I do be hungry. So I guess with that, I made carrot pasta yesterday. What the hell is carrot pasta? But this doesn't sound real. I need an explanation for this before I go. I can't leave without knowing what carrot pasta is. So, like... oh, God. Imagine you stand in front of your kitchen, you see a bag of soggy carrot. Uh-huh. And then what happened? So you saute the carrots and then do a regular pasta tomato sauce. Okay, fair enough. You know, fair enough. That sounds honestly not bad. Especially because carrots don't have a super intense flavor. Right? They have like a very... like stab 3F in dubstep. You know? Fair enough. Make do with what you got. Make do with what you got. Alright, now I'm actually going to go now. And I will see you guys again next week. Goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you very much for sending your track.